Winnipeg Jets versus the Boston Bruins. Two teams skating toward the same ice, but only one of them looks ready to fight for it. The Jets. They're a machine. The Bruins. They're trying to patch holes in a sinking ship. Let's be honest, Winnipeg has been tearing through the league like a hot knife through butter. First place in the Central, 4 wins in their last 5 games, and let's not forget that 8-1 demolition of Boston back in November. Think the Bruins have an answer for that? Spoiler alert, they don't. Kyle Connor is dialed in, 5 points in his last 2 games. Mark Scheifele is piling up numbers like a Vegas jackpot, and Josh Morrissey's defense is rock solid. And then there's Connor Hellebuyck. The man's been a wall all season with a 2 GAE and 31 wins. Boston's gonna need a crowbar to get one past him. Now, the Bruins. They've been skating on thin ice 25-21-5-1 and barely holding a playoff spot. David Pasternak's doing his part, but one man can't drag this team over the finish line. Swayman in net. His 3.03 GAE says enough. There's a reason Boston's giving up over 3 goals a game. And today's AI pick is the Winnipeg Jets on the moneyline. You can love Boston's legacy all you want, but legacies don't win games. The Jets do. Their offense is cooking, their defense is tight, and Hellebuyck's playing like he's guarding Fort Knox. The Bruins might want revenge, but they're showing up to a gunfight with a butter knife. On to Game 2.
Chicago Blackhawks versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Two teams with opposite stories this season, on charging toward the playoffs and the other hoping to salvage whatever they can. But sometimes, underdogs know how to make things interesting. Let's talk about it. The Blackhawks are 16-29-5, second worst record in the Western Conference, and I can already hear the skeptics saying this pick is madness. But let me tell you something, this isn't about Chicago winning. It's about them keeping it close, and that's where we find our edge. They've lost games, sure, but they haven't been blown out of the water in every single one. In fact, a 2.5 puck line at 130 feels like a gift from the betting gods. Connor Bedard and Teuvo Teravainen are still producing. Bedard is a rookie with something to prove, and when you put a chip on a young star's shoulder, he tends to deliver. The rest of the offense. Struggling. But here's the twist: desperation breeds chaos, and chaos can keep games closer than you'd expect. If Chicago can get even moderate production from their second and third lines, they're not getting buried under a 3-goal blowout. On the defensive side, yes, Petr Mrazek hasn't been great. But you don't need him to be a hero tonight, you just need him to be competent enough to hold the fort. He's seen 851 shots this season. He knows how to face pressure. A couple of key stops and we're still in business. Now Carolina, no doubt, they're elite. Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, Andrei Svechnikov, the all buzzing. But remember, the Hurricanes are riding high, maybe a little too high. They're coming off strong offensive performances, and sometimes that leads to overconfidence. Don't underestimate the Blackhawks' ability to disrupt their rhythm, force turnovers, and slow the pace of the game. And today's AI pick is the Blackhawks puck line at 2.5. You can laugh, you can doubt, but don't forget sports aren't scripted. Chicago knows they're up against a powerhouse, and they'll play with grit, not grace. You don't need pretty hockey to cover the spread. You just need a bit of chaos, a little luck, and the will to survive. And tonight, I believe the Blackhawks have that in spades. On to Game 3.
San Jose Sharks versus the Seattle Kraken. On paper, the Sharks are supposed to roll over and accept their fate. But where's the fun in that? I'm Malachi, and if there's one thing I enjoy, it's watching chaos wreak havoc on expectations. Tonight, chaos is wearing teal. Let's start with the Sharks. Yes, they've had their struggles. 15-32-6 isn't exactly inspiring. And their defense? Let's just say they've been as sturdy as a sandcastle in a storm, allowing 3.62 goals per game. But you know what I love? Underdogs that aren't afraid to fight. And that win over Pittsburgh? That wasn't just a fluke. It was proof that this team can show up when it matters. Yaroslav Askarov had 29 saves that night. He's capable of standing tall again, especially with San Jose's confidence boosted by 3 straight victories over Seattle. Mikael Granlund and Macklin Celebrini have combined for 31 goals this season. Granlund's leadership and Celebrini's spark give give the Sharks just enough offensive bite to keep this game within reach. They've beaten Seattle twice this season, once scoring 8 goals. If they did it before, why not again? Now Seattle, the Kraken. Supposed to be the clear favorites, right? They're 210 moneyline favorites for a reason. But let's look closer. They've lost 3 of their last 4, and just gave up 6 goals to the Anaheim Ducks, one of the weakest offenses in the league. Joey Daccord might be returning to the crease, but don't be fooled by his solid January numbers. The guy hasn't faced the kind of chaos San Jose plans to bring tonight. Philip Grubauer's been struggling, and even if Daccord steps in, Seattle's defense still ranks 24th in goals allowed per game. They've blown leads, and if they let the Sharks hang around, this game could turn into another surprise outcome. San Jose's got nothing to lose, and that's dangerous. And today's AI pick is the Sharks plus 1.5. You think Seattle's fired up? Good. That makes the fall even harder. The Sharks don't need to win, though don't be shocked if they do. But covering plus 1.5? Oh. That's very much in play. Seattle's inconsistency and defensive lapses make this pick the kind of gamble I thrive on. Chaos loves company, and tonight, the Sharks are bringing it. On to Game 4.
Anaheim Ducks versus Calgary Flames. On the surface, it's a battle of momentum versus home ice dominance, but here's where the real edge lies. Anaheim isn't just hanging around, they're fighting, clawing, and winning. 3 straight wins and a statement 6-4 victory over Seattle say this team isn't afraid to punch up. Troy Terry leads the charge with 39 points, and while Anaheim's overall offense has struggled this season, they're finding goals when they need them. They scored 6 on just 22 shots last game. That's efficiency. The Flames' defense isn't impenetrable either, giving up 6 goals in their last 3 home games and ranking 29th in penalty kills. Anaheim can exploit that weakness. Sure, Calgary's been strong at home, and their stars like Huberdeau and Kadri are producing, but they've dropped 2 straight. The pressure's on them to stop the slide. The Ducks, they're riding high, loose, and hungry for another upset. Lucas Dostal may not be perfect, but if he makes the key saves, Anaheim will keep this game tight. And today's AI pick is the Ducks 1.5. Anaheim doesn't need to dominate, they just need to stay within striking distance. With their newfound momentum and a Flames team feeling the weight of back-to-back losses, I am betting the Ducks keep this one closer than expected. On to Game 5.
Columbus Blue Jackets versus the Vegas Golden Knights. The odds are stacked, the lights are bright. And everyone expects Vegas to walk away with a win. But when everyone is looking one way, I like to look the other. Columbus on the puck line? Yeah, that's exactly where I want to be. The Blue Jackets have quietly won 7 of their last 10 games, including an overtime victory over the Kings as underdogs. Kirill Marchenko, 53 points and counting, is leading an offense that's been firing consistently. 3 or more goals in 7 of their last 10 games tells me this team can keep pace with Vegas. Now, sure, the Jackets' defense isn't pretty. Mertzlikins has been inconsistent, but here's what matters. Columbus thrives in these gritty games. They're not here to blow teams out. They're here to grind it out and keep games close. And right now, Vegas isn't invincible. They've lost 6 of their last 8, and while their offense is hot, their defense has shown cracks. And today's AI pick is the Blue Jackets plus 1.5. Vegas might win, but a blowout? I don't see it. Columbus will hang around. And when the final buzzer hits, we'll be smiling on the puck line. Now, here's a quick recap of all 5 AI picks. Game 1, Winnipeg Jets on the money line. Game 2, Chicago Blackhawks, plus 2.5. Game 3, San Jose Sharks, plus 1.5. Game 4, Anaheim Ducks, plus 1.5. Game 5, Columbus Blue Jackets, plus 1.5. That's it, folks. 5 picks, 5 chances for chaos, and 5 reasons to keep watching.